actually took my breath away. I've never seen anything like that.
But to see something like this really felt bad about the families that lost a lot.
The images are seared into memory. 20 years ago, a devastating tornado wiped out a Lebanon County community. A path of destruction more than 7 miles long.
The two houses next to us, completely leveled.
Hundreds of homes destroyed.
The house across the street was leveled partially in the street.
The EF3 twister changing the shape of Campbelltown and the lives of everyone who lives there.
It was incredible that when it all happened, the power of it in just a couple seconds.
The stories of survival.
I was sure that we were just gonna be like taken up into the sky. So I started screaming, Lord, help us, Lord, please help us.
Community.
We had 150 volunteers just show up from all around.
And rebirth.
I mean, obviously things have grown back, and you probably couldn't tell anymore that that happened 20 years ago.
How a community came back from tragedy.
Trees and debris were everywhere, but this tight-knit community couldn't be knocked down.
This is a CBS 21 News special, Campbelltown Catastrophe, 20 years later.
Good evening. We are live here at the Campbelltown Community Park. 20 years ago, this park was in the path of an F3 twister that destroyed parts of this community. And today, we're marking that anniversary. Thank you for joining us at 5:30. I'm Jasmine Brooks.
And I'm meteorologist Tom Russell. You know, that tornado was on the ground for just 10 minutes, but it did a ton of destruction, a ton of damage.
Yeah, and this is what it looked like. Campbelltown in the hours after the tornado, hitting the Country Squire Estates the hardest.
And here's what things look like now from our very own Skyview 21. The scars have healed on the surface, but many still remember the tornado like it was yesterday.
Yeah, in fact, Robin Stutzman invited me into her home to tell me about that day with her son and daughter. Just 6 and 13 at the time, by the way. Seconds, Tom, after she left her house, she was face to face with that tornado.
Just frightening stuff. Amazing.
Take a listen.
And then I turned the corner, and I was only 2 houses in on Carriage when I saw a sheet of black. I could get a little emotional. A sheet of black coming across the road where it was so prevalent that I couldn't see the houses, I couldn't see the street, I couldn't see anything in front of me.
At approximately 3:05 p.m. on July 14th of 2004, Robin Stutzman came face to face with an F3 tornado.
And I was screaming at the kids. Initially, I screamed at the kids, get down, get out of your seatbelts, get on the floor, get on the floor, get on the floor.
In that instant, Robin made a split-second decision to turn into this driveway in the Country Squire Estates neighborhood in hopes to quickly turn around.
I started panicking. I didn't really know what to do. And before I could back out of that driveway, it was on top of us, shaking the car, lifting it, shaking it back and forth. I was sure that we were just going to be like taken up into the sky. This is, might be the end of our lives. I don't know.
As she put her foot on the gas, Robin contemplated driving straight through the garage door for protection.
And right when I was thinking possibly of doing that, the garage sort of exploded. Like the garage door was like a little accordion just hanging there, drooped, and the back of the garage was, the walls were shot out. The house to my right lost its whole upstairs. I just saw it disintegrate before my eyes. Like it just went away, like gone, like all the parts. And I was like, I don't know how long this is gonna last. I don't know if we're gonna make it.
After nearly 15 minutes, the tornado left a path of destruction more than 7 miles long. But once it subsided, Robin's panic intensified.
And I asked the kids, are you okay?
Robin did not get a response.
Then when I looked in the back seat, my daughter was not there at all. And all the windows were broken out in the back of the car and hers, like where she sat. And I thought she was sucked out of the car. And I just screamed at the top of my lungs. I'm like, oh my word, Bethany. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even want to go back there. It was just such a horrible feeling. I just thought she was gone. I thought she was sucked out of the car. It was so bad.
Finally, a sign of life. coming from her son.
Really weakly, he said this, so good, Mom, I have her. I'm like, you have her?
Robin's 13-year-old son had pulled his 6-year-old sister to safety and laid his body on top of hers.
I think he saved her life.
It doesn't get easier to listen to her tell me about that.
You feel her emotion from that very moment, and just not knowing what happened to your child is going to be horrifying.
She thought she was sucked out of the car, but her son was her hero that day.
Amazing how he jumped into action too, right?
Now, don't forget, she was just like a block away from her home. That sustained about $30,000 worth of damage, but it was spared. Now, you have a paper from the day after.
Okay,
Todd.
so this is the Patriot News from July 15th, 2004. And I love this to show this to the kids when I go to do school talks and whatnot, because what struck me as you came into the neighborhood, some houses were literally leveled, others were barely touched, some in different varying degrees of destruction. So it shows you how indiscriminate a tornado can be as it works its way through there. So just an incredible shot here, and this tells the story of what happened in the neighborhood that day. And I always like to show that, because the two homes that we came up to that were completely leveled, the only thing left was the basement. So when we're trying to explain why we tell people to get to the basement, that picture really does it good justice.
But for the next person that we talked to tonight, they could not get in the basement. Candace Scalise talked to one man who was on his way home from work.